I'm so tired. I rode this boat all night.
Strange. This seems very familiar.
That's because we have not moved one bit. We've been rowing the same bit.
What? Oh, the silly boatman. He forgot to pull the anchors. So much effort, all wasted.
Yes, sir, such a waste. Still you want to do the same with your own life? What do you mean? You are fortunate to take the shelter of the Vedas. But the real truth is, as long as the anchor of material attachment is not lifted, you will not make any spiritual progress.
So what should we do?
You should find out a teacher who can teach you the real purpose of the Vedas. Anyway, you look very tired, so now take a good rest. While I will row you across the river. Okay?
Our sincere seekers took the advice of the humble boatman, and finally they met a great Vedic scholar.
Dear Brahmana, we are fortunate to have met you.
How can I help you?
Well, I have a considerable knowledge of various rituals contained in the Vedas, but philosophical aspect is not very clear.
Typically, Vedas are divided into 4 kinds of teachings. The Samhitas teach us the verses for performing Vedic rituals, and the Brahmanas gives us the detailed explanation how to perform these Vedic rituals, while the mystical explanations are given in Ankaryas, and finally, Upanishad teaches the underlying philosophy.
So it appears that the Vedas mostly deal with material benefits.
You're right. 90% of Vedas are devoted to karmakanda, as many of us are looking for material benefits. But for rare seekers like you, they are the Upanishads, Vedanta Sutras, and 6 darshanas.
Could you provide us the essence of this knowledge?
Can I hold the waters of the oceans in palm of my hand? There are so many philosophical dissertations discussing various aspects of Supreme and His creation.
What exactly are these dissertations?
Well, Upanishads talk about the impersonal aspects of the Lord, and the Vedanta Sutras correlates Shrutis with Smritis, and the different Brahmana, different dakshinas like Samkhya, Nyaya, gives us various processes to understand and reach our supreme goal, directly or indirectly.
Oh, my head is hurting. I was hoping for simplicity, but it is getting more complicated.
Come friends, let's take a ride with our favorite boatman. If the ride will help clear our minds.
Boatman, can you take us across the river towards Jyotirdesh?
Certainly, sir. Please, step in.
Boatman, has the anchor been lifted?
Don't worry. My boat is now free to move, just as you are not anchored by the desires of material gains.
Well, we know it. Vedas are absolute and infallible, but it seems there are many contradictions to the Vedas also, very much like in my study of metaphysical.
With one difference though, the source of material contradiction is our mental speculation, whereas the apparent contradictions in the Vedas are result in the absolute.
What does that mean?
The apparent contradictions in the Vedas are made available for different people with various propensities, and their Vedas are all inclusive and for everyone.
So this knowledge is essentially adjusted to the recipient's level of understanding and desires.
Exactly. Like the elementary school mathematics and advanced math, both are accurate and sometimes may seem contradictory. There are these different branches of knowledge is made available for people with different levels of understanding and propensities.
So how do we know what is meant for us? What to read? follow.
Yato mat tato phat. As your mind desires, choose a path that is most conducive for your state of mind.
Boatman, I've asked you to go to Jyotirdish. You're heading towards the opposite direction, towards Kamastish.
Don't worry, we may end up in Jyotirdesh anyway.
Is this person a fool? We were supposed to go in that direction and he's going in the opposite direction?
Not really. Today I chose this path. Besides that, it's downstream, and my friends live by that way.
I knew getting in this boat is not a good idea.
Boatman, please explain to us the reason for your action.
If you know for certain what your destination is, then does not it make sense to the quickest possible route to reach there?
Yes, of course. What a simple-minded person you are.
Yes, my simple mind tells that simple is better than complex.
Then why are you going in the opposite direction?
Did not he just say that Joto Mot Toto Path? All endeavors culminate into the same destination?
Oh, I see what you are trying to show us. In our quest for Vedic knowledge, we should first understand what the goal is and then take the short and simple path to it, correct?
Exactly. Now good news, you have already reached the Jyotirdesh, leaving far behind the Tamasha Desha. Now, please go and find someone who can further guide you into this respect.
So our embattled but determined seekers began to sincerely look for one who could guide them about the real purpose of the Vedas. Krishna is always eager to help those who are sincere and send to them a Vaishnava.
Obeisances, O Vaishnava, we are fortunate to have met you. We are hoping you would help us understand the real purpose of the Vedas.
Certainly, I'm here to serve you in any capacity.
We are confused by the various conflicting philosophies of the Vedas.
The Vedas are all-inclusive. They are everything for everyone at all times.
We are trying to read and understand different philosophies of Vedas, but getting only more confused.
That is understandable. At the present time, the Shruti portion of the Vedas has been largely lost. In fact, only 6% of it remains, and even that is hard to understand without developing expertise in the Vedangas like Vyakaran, Chandas, Nirkuta, etc.
So all is lost? We were thinking the center of the Vedas, and it's all gone.
Not quite. The Shrutis are explained in the Smritis. Here, we have the Itihas and Puranas, which are much more easily accessible.
But I thought Puranas are for less intelligent?
The 18 Puranas are called the fifth Veda. Unlike the Shrutis, which are terse and cryptic, the Puranas are much more easily accessible and understandable, and especially conducive to the people in the age of Kali. The word Puranas means that which makes the Vedas Purna, or complete.
So we should study these 18 Puranas?
These 18 Puranas are divided into 3 categories, the Sattvic, Rajasic, and Tamasic categories, containing 6 Puranas each. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna clearly said that better than the mode of ignorance is the mode of passion, but best of all is the mode of goodness. Therefore, the Puranas in the mode of goodness should be read. And of these, the best to read is the Bhagavad Puran.
But how can you say that?
After Vyasadeva had finished compiling the Vedas and written the Mahabharata and the Puranas, he was still feeling discontent. So, upon the instruction of his guru, Narad Muni, he decided to write a text of his mature realizations and called it the Bhagavad Puran. It was his crowning achievement.
So we should read the Bhagavad Puran?
Yes, the Bhagavad Puran has been preserved in its entirety. It leads us directly to the goal of the Vedas, Krishna. Being a part of the Vedas, it is infallible, and one does not have to be a Vedic scholar to understand them.
So how should we read this?
The Bhagavad Puran is best read under the guidance of an chant Krishna's name, serve his deity, serve his devotees, aspire to live in a holy place, and very carefully take shelter of the Bhagavad Puran, and your lives will be perfect.
Thank you very much, O Vaishnava. Today, you have not only helped us understand the real purpose of life, but also how to quickly attain it. Thank you. You know, in this journey of ours, we have been expertly guided by the humble boatman. Let us go and give him our gratitude. Oh, boatman.
Obeisances.
Thank you so much for being a Path Pradakshaka Guru. It is my great fortune that I somehow got onto your boat. Else, I would have certainly drowned in this ocean of material existence, weighed down by useless information. Thank you.
My dear boatman, you have rescued me from the leaky boat of mundane philosophy. Without you, I would have wasted my life studying the imperfect speculations of other imperfect people.
O learned one, if it is not for you, I have been lost in the flowery world of the wind, Kamkandas. For me, I got by my materialistic desire.
Indeed, if it weren't for you, I would be wasting lifetimes speculating on different philosophies of Vedas and traveling in all directions without no specific goal.
It seems that this simple boatman is actually the most learned scholar of us all, because he has perfectly understood the science of Krishna consciousness. All obeisances unto you.
Boatman, for old time's sake, please take us on your boat for a ride.
You don't know this boat anymore, my dear Vaishnavas. The human form of body is the most valuable boat, and the spiritual master is the captain to guide this boat in flying across this ocean of nescience. The instructions of Krishna appearing in Srimad Bhagavatam is considered as a favorable page. Therefore, one must take advantage of all these facilities to cross over this huge ocean of nescience. My dear friends, Srimad Bhagavatam is as brilliant as the sun. After Krishna left this material world for his own eternal abode, Srimad Bhagavatam has arisen to save us from the darkness of the age of Kali. Srimad Bhagavatam directly glorifies Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. All the best, my dear devotees, in this wonderful journey. All glories to Srimad Bhagavatam. All glories to Srimad Bhagavatam. All glories to Srimad Bhagavatam.
So, thank you very much for sitting patiently through the plane. And hopefully next time when you get on a boat, you make sure that there are no holes, the anchors will lifted, and the boatman takes you in the right direction. So I just asked all the actors to, they worked very hard. Everybody has a busy schedule and devotees with jobs, but they took time out over the last 3 months to practice on this plane. So I just asked them to come and introduce themselves. And Vikrant, I played the role of the scholar.
Rohit Vishana, the professor.
Vikas played the role of Vipra.
Vijaya played the role of Brahma.
Drew, playing the role of Vaishnava.
Haribol, I am Vidade. I just played the role of the simple boatman, and I expect that all of you at least take a simple ride in my boat.